is the greatest happiness one can know and love? Is it sex?
Ooh, Yaoi
Hi everybody,
review.
it's Corbin, and today I'm here to talk to you about The Art of Loving by Eiki Eiki. This is published by June by DMP, and it is rated 18+. We'll read the back and delve into it and get into the nitty-gritty. What is the greatest happiness one can know and love? For Yukata, there is only one answer: sex. To him, happiness and lust are the same thing. The likable and respectable heir of the wealthy Fujiwara family is being torn inside out by repressed physical desire. Then one day, Tohano, a transfer student, shows up at school. Yutaka sees Tohano as the toy that will make real all his desires and debauched fantasies. A lifelong friendship based on trust and gratitude. Will it be shattered when Tono learns the truth of Yotaka's obsession? Lust, dark secrets, manipulation, obsession, and unbridled passion. It would be a sin not to discover the art of loving. Indulge in this sin and get swept in the throes of forbidden carnal urges now. So like I said, it's 18+, it's published by June by DMP, and let's get into it. So it opens up with a inkling of what's going to happen in the series, and it gives us a title and a chapter page. So yeah, that's how this begins. As far as art style goes, this is actually fairly traditional and very a modern style. This is published back in 2006. So you would see this and assume that it was written less than maybe 6 months ago. It does remind me of the latest like Gundam, and it's very well done. There's nothing wrong with this whatsoever. Now, I like the art style. That's kind of apparent, but as far as plotline goes, it's a good driving plotline with one hiccup. At the very end, because my question was, the second I picked this up, I says, oh great, it's going to be more than one volume because it has a number 1 here, which usually means volume 1. Well, when I looked it up, there is no volume 2. That's the skinny short of it. There is no volume 2. But when I read this, because I Google things before I read them so I can know how many volumes I need to purchase, but when I read this, the very last thing it says in the entire Yaoi is continued in volume 2. I was pissed. So that is something to bear in mind as a vessel in its own right, as a story in its own right. Literally, it's only the title story, which is The Art of Loving You, or The Art of Loving, sorry, and it's good. It's interesting. It is literally about a very well-off, well-to-do boy who is very much so a self-denier. He doesn't have any pleasures for himself. He does everything for his family, to help his family, to promote his family, to keep their business going, to be that perfect student. So the only release he has is the one he can give himself, which is sexual. And yes, it's a premise that makes sense. Yes, it's a good premise, but the way it ends is there is no actual closure. The entire volume is literally a build-up to them getting a kiss at the very end, and that's it. Every sex scene that happens in this yaoi is literally a fantasy, and it's one little panel, and it's not X-rated. 90% of it is either kissing or seeing someone just lay on their back. There's nothing X-rated in this. So the M for mature 18+ rating just makes no sense. Now, volume 2, if it ever happened or happens, which I pray to God it happens because this is a cliffhanger, we don't know what happens, it's what it is what it is. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. It ends on a cliffhanger. The start of the yaoi kind of gives you... It starts with the guys in the future, and how the Tahano loves Yutaka. I mean, that's realistically how it starts. And he doesn't know how to tell him, and he's very baffled by the fact that he's so emotionally distant. And it's obvious they're adults because one's a successful artist, the other one is a successful businessman. And you just sit there and you go, okay, and where's this going? It gives us a flashback to explain how they end up in the situation they're in, which is the rest of this volume. It needs another volume to make the very beginning of this make sense. because it literally goes, this is how we got in our situation we're in. And then it goes, okay, more questions answered in volume 2 kind of thing. And just sitting there and you're going, okay, I know they end up together. I can make that jump because it told us at the very beginning. But they also alluded to the fact that there's an emotional upheaval. So it's a baffling... It's a good volume on its own. It's baffling because you need a volume 2 to have this actually make sense. But there is no volume 2 at this moment, and this was published in 2006, which means there isn't a high likelihood of a volume 2. So, that being said, probably would be a 3.5 stars, maybe 4. If there was a volume 2, I probably would rate this higher, because then the story would make more sense. I'm hoping, anyway. So yeah, if you guys have read this, let me know. I love reading your comments about yaois and things, and please suggest some more. I am getting ready to do a mass buy of yaois relatively very soon, actually. I think next month I go on a massive yaoi shopping spree, because that's usually when I need to buy more, and I'm at that point right now. So yeah. If you guys have questions or comments, shoot them down below. Give me a thumbs up, share this with a friend who likes yaoi, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. You like what you see? Then... subscribe!